Welcome, friends, to the storytelling meditation of the woman at the well. I want you to find a comfortable place to sit where you will be free from any distractions. Go ahead and close your eyes and begin to take a few slow, deep breaths. Great, let's begin. Our story starts in John 4. Jesus has realized that the Pharisees are keeping count of the baptisms that he and John have performed, although his disciples, not Jesus, did the actual baptizing. They had posted the score that Jesus was ahead, turning him and John into rivals in the eyes of the people. So Jesus leaves the Judean countryside and goes back to Galilee. To get there, he had to pass through Samaria. I feel that it is important to note here that most Jews would actually take a much longer route to avoid Samaria entirely. In the NIV translation, it actually says that Jesus had to go through Samaria, which leads us to believe that Jesus is being intentional about his upcoming encounter with our well woman. He came into Sychar, a Samaritan village that bordered the field Jacob had given his son Joseph. Jacob's well was still there. Jesus, worn out by the trip, sat down at the well. It was noon. A woman, a Samaritan, came to draw water. Jesus said, "Would you give me a drink of water?" His disciples had gone to the village to buy food for lunch. The Samaritan woman, taken aback, asked, "How come you, a Jew, are asking me, a Samaritan woman, for a drink?" Jews in those days wouldn't be caught dead talking to Samaritans. Jesus answered, "If you knew the generosity of God and who I am, you would be asking me for a drink, and I would give you fresh living water." The woman said, "Sir, you don't even have a bucket to draw with, and this well is deep. So how are you going to get this living water? Are you a better man than our ancestor Jacob, who dug this well and drank from it, he and his sons and livestock, and passed it down to us?" Jesus said, "Everyone who drinks this water will get thirsty again and again. Anyone who drinks the water I give will never thirst, not ever. The water I give will be an artesian spring within, gushing fountains of endless life." The woman said, "Sir, give me this water so I won't ever get thirsty, won't ever have to come back to this well again." Our sweet gal is not yet understanding that Jesus isn't referring to physical thirst, but is in fact speaking of spiritual thirst. He said, "Go call your husband and then come back." "I have no husband," she said. "That's nicely put, I have no husband. You've had 5 husbands, and the man you're living with now isn't even your husband. You spoke the truth there. Sure enough." Oh, friend, does this moment just hurt your heart? Seeing our well woman's sins laid out on the table. It hurts mine. It now becomes a little more clear to us why this woman has been coming to this well during the heat of the day by herself, when most of the women would have gathered together early in the morning to draw water for the day. We know what people say nowadays about women who have been in multiple relationships. So can you imagine what it would have been like for her in her era? We can gather from her behavior that the women were not kind to her, or she wouldn't be avoiding them. I often wonder if anyone truly saw her. Did they see the feelings of unworthiness that she must have been carrying from so many failed relationships? My guess is probably not. Let's continue. "Oh, so you're a prophet. Well, tell me this. Our ancestors worshipped God at this mountain, but you Jews insist that Jerusalem is the only place for worship, right? Believe me, woman, the time is coming when you Samaritans will worship the Father neither here at this mountain nor there in Jerusalem. You worship guessing in the dark. We Jews worship in the clear light of day. God's way of salvation is made available through the Jews. But the time is coming. It has, in fact, come when what you're called will not matter and where you go to worship will not matter. It's who you are and the way you live that counts before God. Your worship must engage your spirit in the pursuit of truth. That's the kind of people the Father is out looking for. Those who are simply and honestly themselves before Him in their worship. God is sheer being itself, spirit. Those who worship Him must do it out of their very being, their spirits, their true selves in adoration. The woman said, I don't know about that. I do know that the Messiah is coming, and when He arrives, we'll get the whole story. I am He, said Jesus. You don't have to wait any longer or look any further. Just then, His disciples came back. They were shocked. They couldn't believe He was talking with that kind of woman. No one said what they were all thinking, but their faces showed it. The woman took the hint and left. In her confusion, she left her water pot. Back in the village, she told the people, "Come see a man who knew all about the things I did, who knows me inside and out. Do you think this could be the Messiah?" And they went out to see for themselves. Many of the Samaritans from that village committed themselves to Jesus that day because of our well woman's testimony. Friend, my heart resonates with this story, and maybe yours does too. I would love to take a moment to pray for you as we finish. Father, I lift up everyone who is under the sound of my voice. I pray they know your love today. I thank you for your living word that reassures us that we are never alone in these hard seasons. I thank you for this beautiful example of how much you love us. You always chase after the one. Lord, I just give you all glory and praise today. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Need help with your meditation practice? We created a short guide to help you start meditating today, or to help take your existing practice to the next level if you're feeling stuck. We offer practical advice for how to meditate, as well as several tips to help you get the most from each practice. Start enjoying the peace and focus that comes with a regular meditation practice by heading over to christiansmeditate.com and get your guide today.